This is the Hoff Time Report with Idaho Freedom Foundation President Wayne Hoffman, one of Idaho's most respected, influential public policy voices.
Welcome back for another Hoff Time Report, coming to you from the Hoff Building in beautiful downtown Boise. And why am I dressed this way? Why am I so casual? Well, it's because the legislature has gone home, thankfully. But if there's one thing to remember from the 2021 legislative session, it's that the Idaho Legislature, our legislature, became the first legislative body in the country to successfully push back against the Marxist indoctrination happening in education from cradle to college. First up, the legislature rejected a $6 million federal grant that would have gone to a pre-kindergarten program, a grant that would have given the Biden administration direct control over the education of Idaho's babies and toddlers. It would have given significant power to a group that has a pleasant-sounding name, the Idaho Association for the Education of Young Children. Who could possibly dislike that? But it's tied to an openly leftist national umbrella organization with the same kind of name, the National Association for the Education of Young Children. The legislature also passed a bill, signed grudgingly by Governor Brad Little, to prevent children and young adults in our K-12 and university system from being compelled to personally affirm, adopt, or adhere to racist programs and ideologies that divide students and adults into victims and oppressors according to race and gender. Idaho also became the first state in the country to take a stand against hate-mongering that is central to critical race theory. And finally, the Idaho Legislature became the first in the country to start the process of unwinding the left's social justice initiatives on college and university campuses. It's a big deal. The legislature actually voted to cut $2.5 million from the higher education system. $2.5 million for social justice. The bulk of those cuts targeted at Boise State University. Now, that's a fraction of the money being spent on social justice programs, but it's a start. It's disappointing that the legislature continues to allow social justice spending to continue at all. And it's also disappointing that the legislature continues to afford labor unions so much power, the Senate having killed a bill to give school boards more discretion on whether they engage in negotiations with radical or uncooperative collective bargaining units. And no progress has been made toward getting rid of Common Core. The state taxpayers will continue to have to pay for the socialist megaphone that is National Public Radio, which is on our campuses at Boise State and Idaho State University. But 2021 marks a turning point. It's the first time in our state's history that conservative voices took charge of the education debate. The discussion wasn't just about how much more money taxpayers would be compelled to throw at the education system. No, real answers were being demanded about the quality of public schooling and whether the government's obsession with identity politics of race and gender have been helpful or harmful to young people. University presidents were not just asked about their college's latest research projects or about the football or basketball team's latest victories, but about what students are learning and the cringe level of campus administration activism, particularly at BSU, but also at the University of Idaho. I want to give a special thanks to Representatives Ron Nate and Priscilla Giddings, rock stars in the legislature, rock stars who kept the pressure on even when their colleagues on the Legislative Budget Committee were willing to give in or do nothing at all. And kudos to Lieutenant Governor Janice McGeehan, who has launched a task force to investigate complaints about indoctrination happening still in our public elementary, middle, and high schools. In January, I wrote that education has to be lawmakers' number one priority, and I wrote that the discussion needs to be focused on more than just money. I said we can do nothing and hope that future generation of Americans will somehow be passionate defenders of liberty, or we can attack the problem at its source. Idaho is, I said then, I'll say it again, one of the few states in the country where this work can get done. And it did. And it did. Now there's more work to do, but this is just the beginning. Idaho is proving to be a roadmap for other states to follow. And I think it just might be the leadership that helps save our country from extremism. Thanks again for watching. Be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, share this video with your friends, comment down below, whatever you need to do, get the message out about the work we're doing here at Idaho Freedom Foundation, and we'll talk to you again next time.
You've been listening to the Hoff Time Report with Wayne Hoffman. Be sure to visit idahofreedom.org for Wayne's articles, IFF research, and show notes from today's episode.